Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Pre-Market News and Views by In the Money Stocks. Today is Tuesday, May 14th, 2013. Thank you all for tuning in. Let's jump right into the charts here. We're going to start off with the usual S&P 500 E-mini futures. You'll see that the futures are trading higher by about 1.5 at the moment. Futures were sharply lower. I wouldn't say sharply lower, but decently lower, around 1627, around 6 o'clock in the morning. And then CNBC had on a guest by the name of David Tepper, famous hedge fund manager. He owns Appaloosa Capital, and you could see he was very, very bullish, and that helped lift the markets up a little bit. So, again, no real shocker there. We'll see if his comments have less and less effect these days, or will they still move the markets as he continues to be very, very bullish at the moment. But either way you slice it or dice it, futures are up about 1.5, really no trouble there. The European markets, which were down earlier, have now gotten a little bit of a facelift. You do have the German DAX up 0.4%. The French CAC 40 is flat. Milan market, which is Italy, is flat, and then you have the IBEX 35, which is Spain. That's down about 0.3%. Then you have the London FTSE 100. Again, that's up about 0.2%. So not really all that big a deal at the moment from what we can see. But markets are a little bit higher ahead of the opening bell on the futures. It looks like U.S. import prices were down about 0.5%. That looks like the latest news. That news was just released at 8:30. So again, we can't make too much out of it. Markets don't seem to really care. You know the markets only care about one thing: quantitative easing, money printing. That's the bottom line. As long as there's money printing going on around the world, that's really all the market cares about. Money printing comes out, I think that's where the markets will drop. Right now, money printing is still taking place in a very robust manner by all of the central banks. It doesn't really make a difference which one it is, and that's really all that happens. Now, if we go across into the Asian markets last night, you're going to see that the Nikkei 225 put a little bit of a pause day in, finishing down about 0.1%, and then you have the Shanghai index, which was down 1.1% last night. So that's a pretty deep decline for the Shanghai, which consistently struggles to get any kind of real traction. So I think traders want to watch the Chinese ADRs today. They may be under a little bit of pressure. Again, that would be more. They would be more under pressure if the U.S. markets were weak. If the U.S. markets are strong, I wouldn't look at the Chinese ADRs as being dire or anything like that. But they definitely could be under some pressure today if the U.S. markets are weak. But right now, the markets ahead of the opening bell are fine, holding steady at least at the moment. We still have an hour to go before the opening bell, and they're still holding up pretty well. Looking at a few things here today, some stocks in the news. One, you have Take-Two Interactive. They reported earnings. Looks like the stock is getting a nice little pop before the opening bell. I'll have some gap levels for that one. So Take-Two is making a little bit of a move here before the opening bell. Looks like there's also some news coming out of Sony. Hedge fund manager David Einhorn, I believe, is out there looking for Sony to do a spin-off of its entertainment division. I'm sorry, it's not David Einhorn. Dan Loeb. Dan Loeb, I think, came out with another hedge fund manager, came out with an idea for Sony to spin off its entertainment division. That would help increase some money, and you can see Sony getting a pop on that news. Sony has not agreed to this by any means or anything like that, but again, it's just another big money manager pushing his ideas around on the marketplace, and you could see that happened for Apple after David Einhorn did it, and Apple got a pretty good bid, and they did spin off a pretty sizable dividend. Now Dan Loeb is saying that Sony should spin off its entertainment division through an IPO. So again, the stock is up again, trading higher. The stock has had a real big pop lately, more so for the fact that Japan is devaluing the yen each and every day, and I think that's partly the catalyst for the stock moving higher. But today it is moving higher on this news that Dan Loeb is calling for Sony to spin off its entertainment division. So we'll see how that plays out going forward. A few other stocks in the news, obviously, are Clorox and Visa, but they're not big movers, so we're going to skip over them and not get too much into them at the moment. All right, let's take a look at oil and gold. We'll start off with oil today. Oil is down about 38 cents to $94.78 a barrel. Let's take a look at the USO. The USO is trading at 33.70, so down a little bit from yesterday's close, which was 33.86. The USO is a good proxy for light sweet crude. This stock definitely, or this ETF, I should say, still has some downside. But you do see a little bit of support right here around 33.65. But ultimately, I have a hard time seeing this thing really make much of a move higher unless there's some kind of geopolitical event in the Middle East or some outrageous weather event. Again, if the dollar is stronger today, which the dollar is up about 10 cents at the moment, that always puts more pressure on oil as well going forward. Now, looking at the markets again, if you take a look at gold this morning, gold is down about $6 to $1,428 an ounce. Let's take a look at the GLD. The GLD you'll see here trading at $137.61 an ounce. So the GLD right now is not getting crushed, but it is down again. And again, it still remains in a vulnerable position, trading below all the moving averages. But it has not taken out or even attempted to get near the pivot low from April 15th, which was, I believe, on the GLD, $30.51. So still well above that. And now if the GLD can make a higher low on the charts, it has some upside potential. But right now it's not doing all that much. And you do have the US dollar index up about 11 cents ahead of the opening bell. Dollar is very, very strong. Looks like it wants to get into that $84 area. But either way you slice it or dice it, a stronger dollar is not beneficial for gold. It's not beneficial for copper stocks, or anything commodity-wise. Stronger dollar is not beneficial for that. But it's good to see a stronger dollar. To be honest, I actually prefer it. I hate the fact that the United States, runs this weak dollar policy, which it has for about 4 years now. Finally, the dollar is getting stronger, but I don't know if it's getting stronger for the right reasons. More so because the other countries around the world are devaluing their currency just as quickly. So that's really what it comes down to. We'll see how this market plays out. Again, right now futures are just are positive by 1.5 points, and markets look fine ahead of the opening bell. As for economic news today, I believe we may have seen most of it. Let me just check and make sure I'm not missing anything here. Yeah, it looks like 8:30 a.m. was it. Yeah, I think that's it for the economic data. So we shouldn't have any more today. At least I don't expect any more. But we'll see how this market plays out going forward. All right, with that said, everybody have a great trading day. We'll see you on the charts a little bit later. Take care now.